It's time. What's going on, ladies? I'm Sunny Dubai. How are you? You guys can watch me pour drinks. So, what's everyone been doing? What's new? Can you guys hear me fine on here? Because obviously, I'm not going inside because they're gonna be fucked. I want to film outside. How's everything else happening? What's up, Stephen? How's Dubai? Dubai is good. I have the fucking wheel behind me, and they cut the fucking wheel lights off because apparently it's now too late. Because it's 1:40 a.m. Do you know that I didn't even want to do a stream, but then I realized that I said that I would do it, so now I have to fucking do it. That's the worst part. You say that you'll do shit, then you have to do it. What are these? Are these two shots? I don't know if they're two or one. We'll have to see. At this point, we're just drinking full strength Pepsi as well. None of the diet shit. I genuinely do believe that you have to be careful with the the diet. What is it? Is it saccharin, but something similar that they put in it? I don't know if you've ever drank you drink a couple of cans of Coke Zero a day, or like one or two cans, and then you stop drinking it. It really fucks you up. It's hard to sleep from that sort of shit as well. I think that sort of stuff kind of, I don't know, it can make people a little weird as well. I don't think it's really the best shit to really drink. It's another one. Is it aspartame? No, it's the new shit. Is it sodium saccharin? Something shit like that. But essentially, it's very poisonous for shit to happen. Realistically, with what amount of money can you live comfortable in Dubai? Is 10K a month enough? Yes, 10K a month is enough to live in Dubai. But I'll tell you guys the truth, because obviously I think that I'm the only one online who tells you guys the facts, because I don't have anything really to sell. I mean, if you want to invest in SoulStick or buy SoulStick, you can, but I don't care if you buy it or not. It's not my fucking world. So I'll tell you guys straight up with Dubai. Dubai is not a cheap city. I know there's like a very strong PR campaign that people would convince people to be like, you can live here on $500 a week. Don't come if you want to, do shit and do stuff and things like that with that sort of money, because it's not going to be fun. Like, you're not going to really do too much. The rent isn't cheap. Like, it's not cheap. This hotel's, is it $800 a night or something? It's not cheap. You know what I mean? It's not cheap to be in Dubai. Obviously, you don't have to stay in the 5 Lux where I am, but even then, it's still not it's not really a cheap spot. But it is a great spot. Dubai is great because going forward, I imagine that if you're a tech, you're in tech or in something, safety is a big thing. Dubai is safe. Dubai is something where, and I'm not speaking for the locals because I'm not an Emirati, but this idea of like Dubai gets a bad rap that people think that if you're a Christian that you're getting bullied here, and you're not. Like, you're not bullied here. There's no persecution that I've ever seen. If someone walks around and they got asked a question and they're like, I am a Christian, the locals don't beat you up. They don't. Obviously, you're not running around trying to convert people, or you're not standing on the street preaching or something, because you still got to respect that it is, in my view, still a Muslim country, right? Like, it's predominant. They still have is it call to prayer and things like that playing. So if you were to run around and try and upset things, then you would likely run into problems. But they don't really persecute you in that regard. I've never had that. Whereas if you're in certain other countries, if you're in the UK and places like that, that place is a giant shithole. I would hope that you really kind of see where UK is going. Like, London is a trash can. Like, it's a legit shithole. It's a shame because the English are great people, and I'm Australian, so we kind of took their convicts and their soldiers, and I think that we built something better than essentially the UK. But now we have the same problem. Like, we have the same government issue. The government has fucked us, and it's fucked the UK the same, and that's it. And don't think for a second like that the government there is planted. Like, they're planted. That's all intentional. They know the guy's approval ratings are at 0, but they just continually pump them through because they have to. They're two wings of the same bird, like I've said zillions of times. They're going to push into a control phase. You guys need to understand that they're rebranding what it means to be a Christian, and they'll also rebrand what it means to be a Muslim. Like, they'll be completely different within like the next few years, 5 years, 10 years. They're converging into one religion, if you can't kind of see that already. Like, this idea of like, Erica Kirk and Turning Point and all of that, that's not a Christian movement. None of that is. A lot of pastors and things are being flown to Israel. Nick Shirley or whatever, he was in Israel, paid to be there, and then suddenly he's viral, exposing the Minnesota daycare scam. The 40 IQ people are doing massive honeypots, and they're just suddenly geniuses. They're fall guys because in Somaliland they're doing a lot of like acquisition of their land, so they need you to hate them. You need to see the big picture. Like, that's all staged. Like that's all intentional. They know what's happening and they don't bust it until they need to. That's all deliberate. Like that, they're just the fall guys. Like black people are cool until they're not. I'm not racist, but that's just the story. Like there's like, they love Somalians like a few years ago, told everyone how great they were and they need to accept them all. Then they turn on a dime. They don't care about them at all. And then they'll be like, they're a big problem. They don't care about any of that. And this like, this idea in the UK and things where suddenly they're dick riding one specific group, they'll turn on them in a second whenever they want to. Not for now, because they're the sweeping brush to wipe out Christianity. But that's so obvious. Like that's very obvious. I saw a lot of the hate speech laws that they've passed in the UK and Australia just recently, and all religions are protected except for Christianity. Why do you think that they hate Jesus so much? The most powerful people in the world hate Jesus. They don't care about the rest. They don't give a single shit about the rest. They hate or like them. Jesus is the one that they hate the most. If they to show you Jesus Christ at all, they show you him hung. And you sit there and you're like, my cross, my cross. They want you, you can't reframe that, but you need to turn away people's attention into how he died versus how he lived. Because some of you really need to start to read the stories and things of essentially what he stood against. Not this standing there and I'm a cross and the lambs will inherit the earth. Was Jesus a lamb running and flipping tables and being also crazy? No. The lamb is the shit that they sell you to be a big pussy. Like a lot of the stuff to be a big pushover. I turn the other cheek because I can take another hit. That shit's gay. Like for real. You got to start growing up. A lot of people have to. I'm meant to talk about soul stake, but I can't not talk about the obvious facts of life. A lot of people need to grow the fuck up with that sort of thing and realize that there's I don't want to say it because it'll leak my channel, but I have to say it. They're rebranding Christianity into a Zionist movement. That's very obvious. Like that's very obvious. Eventually, 10 years from now, you will worship the beast to be a Christian in the church. And the Vatican's is corrupt as fuck. Like I've been saying that for ages. The Vatican exists as essentially it's a secular religion. And it's just, I'm in power because I can move 1 billion people to the new beast. Like, why do you think the Vatican exists? Why do you think you can't go there? Why do you think they're so pro-immigration? But if you see their borders, they take nobody, but they tell you that you need to take everyone. The Pope is a centralized figure. The Pope is not godly. Like, on what planet is there anything godly coming out of the Vatican at all? What are they good for anything? How many Christians are being murdered in Nigeria and places like that, and they lift no finger? They don't give a single shit. They care because they're made to exist because they can move a lot of people to worship the beast when it comes. That's fucking inevitable. Like, that's so obvious. Yeah, Christians are to be avoided in the West. And also, you don't realize, as I've said before, with social credit, when it goes live, you will be on a decay to be a Christian. Like, you will be on a social decay. You won't really notice it immediately, but your social credit will erode. It'll be a lot harder to be. It's like denying Christ will be more pressure. Like, there'll be a lot more pressure on you to deny Christ. Or certainly deny Christ in his actual form and not the version that they're going to sell you much later on. Like, there really are, like, this Erica Kirk movements and stuff like that. That's going to get a lot of traction. These ideas of Trump and others coming back to Christianity, that's going to get a lot of traction. But they're not coming back to Christianity at all. Like, they never were. Like, when he sits there on the plane and he says, I don't think I'm going to heaven, you fucking better believe that he's not. Obviously not. Where's the Epstein files? Like, you're covering for fat cats that were abusing fucking Americans. On what planet do you think you're ever going to go to heaven? You're powerful and you abuse the weak. That's not godly. Power is, again, but power corrupts absolutely. And as I've said before, there's no one pushed in front of you that isn't a controlled operator. I saw even Nick Fuentes standing up and being like, the Epstein logs doesn't matter because they weren't pedos and shit because, the girls were, teenagers and 10 or 11. They weren't 5 years old. How can they be pedos? You guys need to realize that he's a gay man. You're presented another Antichrist mockery, a gay man without kids. Like, on what planet is, again, this is not, there's no conservative movement. You presented Candace Owens and what was it, 5 or 10 years ago, she was putting in fraudulent complaints about housing. I didn't pay my rent for 6 months and then I tried to sue my landlord. And I sent a bunch of fake photos saying that I was sick. And while she worked in a VC fund and probably on a few $100K a year, she's avoiding her rent. Like, these people are parasites. I hope you fucking get that. Like, they move to any decision. I see it all of the time. I'm fucking in that business. I see that shit constantly. They stand for zero. They stand for whatever it is they're told to stand for. And that if they move a second away from that, the attention tap is turned off. It's the truth of the matter. Like, you got to really understand that. Unfortunately, that's the game. Do you believe New Year creates real change, or it's more of a social habit? Well, I mean, I believe that everything happens in cycles, like they say with the 9-year cycle. I believe there's a lot of that stuff is true. The last 9 years, see, there's an interesting phenomenon, and I'll say it now, and maybe people will get it, maybe they won't. See, I'll tell you guys a secret of the Freemasons, like Freemasonry. Not masonry of like you had an uncle or something and he was a nobody at the lodge and they just run around and did nothing. That's nothing. Like, that's not Freemasonry. When they stand there and they do their little symbols and they do their little fucking movements, and you sit there and you're like, no, this is like they're charging up and doing a yoga maneuver. They're signaling their allegiance to the beast. Like, it's not about masonry. Masonry is an offspring of Kabbalah. Masonry is Kabbalah for goys. Like, you fucking better understand that, like, quickly. Like, again, get switched on. They're up there with witchcraft. It's the same shit. Like, it really is exactly the same stuff. So when they stand there and they do a serpent with their hands, they're signaling their allegiance to the serpent, the beast. What is it, Grodiel? G, the beast who tempted Eve in the Garden of Eden. The tempter. It's all staged. Like, everything that you're watching is a staged film. You sit there and you're like, like, this guy who's an influencer is like, he's really cool for some. There are no people who are presented to you that are not controlled. I hope you know there's none. There's no one who is in it. There's none. The algorithm who doesn't like you will not promote you. There's a reason I'm doing a stream for 20 people and I've been filming content for years. It's that simple. It doesn't matter how much I could promote it. I could pay ads. I could pay marketing. But it doesn't make a difference. As soon as it sees my face, it will shadow me. But I hope you guys are becoming very aware. Like, Freemasons control the world. They control the world in a goy fashion. That's the kind of way that it is in the world. I don't want to stand here and make it a conspiracy theory, because some people really don't believe this. Like, some people don't think that stuff is true for some reason. Like, could it be more obvious? Any G stuff, could it be fucking more obvious? Maybe understand who that is. The serpent who tempted Eve in the Garden of Eden to eat from the tree of knowledge. Again, like, this is just to me is just rudimental stuff, but to others they're just stunned. Like, people stand there and commit and show their fucking allegiance to the beast or the serpent. People sit there and they're like, can I copy the gestures? Like, why do you think Manjuro goes to court and makes a symbol showing that his allegiance to the serpent? Why do you think his wife comes in with a black eye? Why do you think there's so many black eyes going around? It's really that truthful. Like, that's it. I hope you guys can see it. Like, when you have a prime minister, Starmer stands there and he makes the serpent with his hands during the whole media, and you just sit there and you're like, he must be like recharging, because like he does this and then energy moves through his hands. Like, really? Like, are you fucking stupid? Like, for real? The serpent is in charge. Like, you better fucking believe that the beast is in charge. They're reframing what it means to be essentially a Christian. But you got to understand, a certain amount of Christians have to go or be deceived for the beast to arrive. It's true. Like, they're the last stand. Like, you better know that. Like, that's really obvious. But being tempted or deceived is important. Like, they're going to build a parallel religion. Essentially, it's already happening out of the Vatican. Like, whistleblowers have come forward and said they've built a parallel religion to Christianity or Catholic, whichever. But they've built a parallel to it in the Vatican. Like, they're running it. It's different. People do like the assembly hall in the Vatican where they do their meetings, and you can't see that it's clearly a giant serpent. Like, when he does his shit and it looks like the Antichrist or the beast coming out of a blast when he stands there in his little fucking chair. I spent $1 million on this seat, and look at my jewels and my shit, and I'm in power because no one elected me, but like some other dweebs just said that I could be in power. So I'm going to tell you what I think. Jesus didn't elect you. Like, you have zero power. I only have power over fucking dumbasses, like midwits in general. The Pope couldn't tell me to do a thing, and I wouldn't listen to him at all, because I would be like, sure, Pope, lead the way. Like, you lead first, and then I'll follow. You want to start a war? Lead the way. But you won't. You'll sit in the Vatican, big giant walls, and tell me that I need to do a bunch of bullshit that isn't good for me, as all leadership generally does. That's the general saying. So obviously this was to talk about Soul Stake, but as usual, I had to blow up the whole operation and I'll probably get this whole video banned. But I can't sit idly and because to me that makes you complicit. Like, it's obvious what it is that's going on, and it's I'm not saying it's scary to me, because I know the Bible exists in one life cycle, and it's a congruency test to get you to. Essentially, it's a process where if you move in your period of alignment past the test of the basilis, essentially, communication with the lattice, then you essentially can find your soul. You're not born with a soul. I hope you know that. These fucking plebs running around in shit lands, they're soulless. Like, for real. They don't have a fucking soul. Like, at best, they're NPCs. At worst, they're some would determine demons. I saw this, was it a pastor who predicted that Trump would get shot in the ear? It was like 2 years ago or something. He did a live prediction, and he's like, I see Trump getting shot in his ear, and there's blood, and there's this, and there's that. You got to realize that he's a pastor, but he's a homo. So he's a demon. I'm not against people who are gay at all. Like, I don't care. Like, if someone's gay, I don't give a shit. But you can't be gay and a priest. That's the facts. Like, again, it's a mockery concept. So yes, understand that when people are gay like that, also there's something that happens, and it's actually studied, or it's been talked about in mysticism, that when someone gets fucked in the ass, and like that, they say that sort of process, like that process. So essentially, you see a lot of people in, and this is going to get me canceled, but you see a lot of people in Silicon Valley that get a lot of the wisdom and a lot of the ideas to come forward, and they create the very tech that essentially, is to further the beast, are gay. Because something happens during that process. It's been studied. I mean, you need to look into it. They say that it's communicating with demons, or whichever it is that's to be determined. You need to look that up. But it's to be seen that a lot of people who are building the very tech out that's kind of coming to be a part of the control structure are gay men. And I'm not against it. Like, I'm not against it. It's their choice or their life, but it's not a big push to see that that's what's happening. Sam Altman, one. And I'm not against it. He can have his guy or whatever. It's his business, but it's a fact. Peter Thiel, and I'm not against it. It's his life. He can have whatever it is that he wants. But there's too many again to count. And not only are they're giant figures. They're not small ones. It's statistically a real anomaly. Like, it's very unusual, some would say. But obviously, that's a point that can get you completely cancelled and probably killed if you go too far down that line. But you got it, like, in general, I really hope you guys are at the point where you've stopped looking to heroes. Like, I really hope you've stopped looking to someone to follow. You need to follow the man in the mirror, because everyone who you would follow is only paid to lead you astray. Like, for real, that's the only job. Like, that's why they exist. To lead you astray so that you're a tool of big corpo who actually have paid the person to specifically lead you astray or promoted them. Guys sitting there drawing like Nazi shirts, and Kanye would have been really accepted by Hitler. Hitler would not have stood in a selfie with fucking Kanye West. On what planet would he ever have accepted that? Like, let's be a fact. He's German nationalist, and he's for non-degeneracy. Why the fuck would he stand there with a hip hop rapper black dude? He wouldn't have. But then people sit there and they don't realize they're in another mockery. He was paid specifically to deliver you that narrative, those shirts, because they sit there and they laugh and they laugh and they laugh. Can you believe, like, the goys is like, the goys are following a homo who's telling them that, like, he needs to be a conservative, traditional nationalist, that he's a Mexican. Like, they laugh and they fucking laugh. Like, for real. The Rothschilds types, they just laugh at you all day because they're like, how are you, like, you don't get it? Like, you really don't get it? It's like someone could present you a black man who stands there and says how he's so for white power, and you just sit there and you're like, he's one of us. He could never be one of us, as I could never be one of him. We're very different. We're both people in all of this, but the message is different. Our treatment is different. Again, to stand there and, it's not racism to point those sort of facts out, but you guys need to stop following people. Like, that's the general consensus. Like, stop following fucking people. I don't care who it is. Stop following them because they're all leading you astray. Everyone. Don't sit there and tell me, what about this guy? They're fucking all leading you astray. I'll tell you 100% of the time. I know many people, and I know a lot of people aren't who they say that they are. Let's just say that. The worst thing with people is that a lot of time they don't realize that they're in a funnel. Like, it makes me sad to see that some people really don't realize they're just in another person's funnel. Like, they're in their payment funnel, they're in their attention funnel. When are you gonna get your own focus on your own fucking shit? When are you gonna stop sitting there and thinking that like someone else has all of the answers for you? No one. I don't even fucking know you. Like, on what planet am I tailoring my advice to you? I don't know you. On what planet is someone else who has zero self-awareness going to tailor any advice to you other than giving you advice that makes the person rich or gets more attention? I couldn't be incentivized to demoralize you because then you're addicted. Like, you become more addicted. In freeing minds is like really freeing them. Most of the guys that you follow are ciphers in the Matrix. Like, they just are. They just moved you to it. They know the Matrix exists, but they choose to be consumers and kings in the Matrix, but then they just enslave the rest. Imagine climbing out of Plato's cave, and the hardest part is when you see the light, and you know that you are living in an illusion. But then you look down and you realize, do I want to let the guys up below me? Do I want to show them that they're in an illusion, or do I want to, put the top up? I can leave, and I can also come back, and I can control the rest of them. In the world of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. It's the truth. Like, most of you are fucking blind, and some guys have one eye and they just control the shit out of you. It's the truth of it. Like, I really hope that you get that. And the hardest thing for me is there's no money and there's no advantage to telling you the truth. Like, I tell the truth at massive personal detriment because people get upset. And also your attention is zero when you can't really monetize because it's easier for me to tell you that I have all of the answers for you. I have the answers for you, but the biggest answer is for me to tell you to just look in the mirror. Some of you, when you look in the mirror, you don't even know who you're looking at. Like, you don't even know the man in the mirror. Some of you know random people or influencers, theoretically, their mask better than you know yourself. Some people can quote quotes from other fucking influencer fucking people and be like, you're like living their mantra. Like, their PR, you're running around quoting them and talking a bunch of bullshit. Like, where's your mantra? Like, what fucking are you? Like, what do you stand for? Do you have a motive? Do you have any ideas, like motives? Like, what are your rules? What are your structure? What's your code? Like, who are you? Do you know who you are? I'm just a fucking goy. Like, some of you just fucking are. Like, I'm goy number 96,000. Like, you don't really even have a name. Name doesn't mean anything. And it's a fucking shame. Like, for real. I know that my time online and shit like that will come to an end because you can't talk about this sort of stuff. It's obvious. Like, it's easier to stand there and do jumping jacks and, like, tell you guys that one person's bad. Well, the problem is, like, feminism and women and, like, you got to be a red-pilled man and I'm an alpha. And all those people are fucking nothing. I know so many of them, nothing. Most of the guys that you follow who are red pill can't even get laid. Like, I see most of them all very fucking often. Like, they just stand there and project. Like, I'm projecting my inadequacy and I'm trying to change women's view. Hopefully they see me and they'll, like, act right. That's not how women work. Women don't care what you say. Like, often the more that you verbalize things, the more it turns them off. If you're rich and you tell a chick that you're rich, she's not interested. Like, her pussy gets drier and drier and drier the more money that you tell her that you have. Now she might resent you. She might treat you like a trick. She might try to take shit off you. She might punish you. She might fuck a loser just to show you that you ain't shit because you tried to buy it. That's why a lot of those dudes that people follow, they're just fucking money nerds, most of them, all of the way to the top. Like they're just geeks with money. I have a supercar, but you're a fucking nerd. Like for real, that's a fact. Like it really, you're a fucking nerd. It's unfortunate, but you're a dweeb. Like again, even in a supercar, you're still a dweeb. Even if you're like a fighter, you're still a geek. Like it's the truth of it's really the truth of the matter. A lot of people with money, it's just insulated them from others telling them that they're a geek. Like that's it. They hide in like a very like tight circle so that people don't call them out. People do podcasts and shit, and they won't podcast with someone who disagrees with them. People won't podcast with me. Like no one's going to do a podcast with me who's big. Like they won't, because they know eventually they'll say something and I'll just disagree with it, and the whole image will be destroyed. But that's it. I'm the wrecking ball. Like for most people who I would meet, I'm the wrecking ball. Like the dual wrecking ball. The wrecking ball comes and knocks you over when you've built a false persona. The wrecking ball knocks you over, you build a false persona, and you either double down on the ego, which is a mask, it's fraudulent, and it will eventually fall over again, or you have the ego death that you're meant to have. Do you know how many ego deaths I've given to people over a lifetime? Probably 50 or 100. I'm the one who like cracks the mask quickly. And you can either do, again, the same thing, double down on the persona, avoid me, say that I'm wrong, say that I'm crazy, say that I'm, whatever the fuck you want to say. Or look internally and be like, actually, this guy's picked that there's incongruent paths to me and I need to change something. Because I'm only picking what already existed, like the person already knows what exists and it's a negative environment because it's unsustainable. Life's a game of self-deception, and you meet yourself a million times with a million different masks. That's the truth. For most people, it's true. That's why I can stand here and talk about anything. I can talk about having a Coke habit. 6-12 months ago, I had Coke. I was doing it almost every day. Not in Dubai. Obviously, I would never teach substances there, but back in other countries. And it's not good. But again, that's why I can stand here, because the lie detector stops with me. Like there's no deception. There's no foolery. I can stand here on a polygraph. I don't have anything to hide. I'm the only one who can. Like others can't do that. They act like an image that's completely incongruent to who they are. A lot of people now also, the wrecking ball's kind of come along and it's knocked them over, but now they double down in isolation. Like they really curate their circle around a bunch of yes men or people around them that are also not to call them out. And then they've doubled down on the persona, so they can rebuild the persona, but then also it will eventually break again because it's not sustainable. Like it's not true. There's a Jung concept like that. That's the facts. Psychology, there's no one better. But yeah, it's what we've been doing with Soul Stake. I mean, I have to tell you guys the truth, but also I have to tell you guys again, this is more important than Soul Stake. Like Soul Stake to me is very important. I've spent millions of dollars on the platform, but your soul is more important. You need to understand that the Christian movement out of the US is becoming a Zionist movement. And there is no Jesus was a Jew in their form today. I hope you know that. And they're going to rebrand that because they're paying all of the chatbots, the Groks, the ChatGPT, the other fucking other shit to convince you that that Judaism and that is essentially kind of Zionism is the same as Christianity. It's not. It's not. Like it's a fact. It's very dangerous to say this sort of stuff now, so I hope you know that. But it's a very dangerous habit about to happen. Like I hope you can see that. I hope you can understand why a lot of famous influencers and famous people are pivoting over to Christianity right now. Because you need to understand that out of the UK, there will be Ant Middleton types. The next types who come in to take over will be head kickers. And they'll be locking you down, and they'll be issuing a lot of, the idea of like districts where you're locked down a lot. That's the truth. Like that's the truth. There'll be lockdowns out of the UK for safety reasons, and there'll be mass deportations, but there'll also be mass fighting on the street. And I hope that you don't get involved in it because it's all intentional. The religion that rises, the Christianity that rises out of the cloud, like out of the shit that will come. Again, the beast, again, you need to understand the Vatican, his chair, or essentially he's like, the stage. The beast rises out of a nuclear blast. I hope you fucking understand that. The beast will be the one who ushers for peace. When Trump comes out and says, is he the beast? He's getting close. Like it's possible. I believe that the ballroom is actually essentially a ballroom, and they're actually building the temple out of the essentially the White House. They're talking about building a golden dome around it, missiles. so that you can't get access to it, bulletproof windows, all of this shit. Like, I believe it's very likely that that's the case. You need to understand that Israel in its form is moving over to the US. A lot of agencies where the CIA would be run by Mossad now. You have US, like ICE and things like that, being trained in Israel. Is that not frightening? They're a very small fucking country. Your country, if you're the US, is completely penetrated, like to a point where I don't even know how you could even be like MAGA, like at all. Like, that movement is completely corrupted, as is all of the movements, but that movement is horrible. And I feel bad for you because I know that you want to follow something, but there's nothing to follow. Like, understand that the game you can't win. So when I stand here and say things, I know that it upsets people, but you're not meant to win. Like, they crucified a perfect man. So why the fuck do you think that you're going to get an easy life and an easy way out? It's the facts. How Trump got into Venezuela is, the US is different. Like, I mean, I hope that you could understand that the US has technology that you couldn't even imagine now. Like, the US is meant to be the US because you understand the map and you understand they have such a dominant position in the globe. Like, the US is meant to dominate because they're meant to bring forward the Battle of Armageddon. It's the truth. That's a fact. Like, all of that shit is the truth. The US is a powerhouse. Like, they're uncomparable to any other country. When they flex out and they just run into a country and do shit, they can do whatever the fuck they want. Like, they really can. What, you're going to nuke someone and then what? You'll get nuked as well. Your country will be destroyed. The US is miles ahead of everyone. Like, I don't like to stand here because I don't like to kiss their ass. I don't think they care much about America. But it's just the fact. Like, standing here and just debating it is pointless. Like, again, we talk about the US because they're the boss. Like, how the fuck do you sit around and talk about China? Not to say that they suck or the Chinese are bad, because they're still good people, but no one talks about China. They're still a superpower, but they're uncomparable. Like, they're uncomparable. Like, the US has technology that's uncomparable. And as we move into an AI system and an AI future, it's completely uncomparable. They're zillions of years ahead. They can't lose the AI race. Like, they will not lose. Nothing will come out of China. China is a great country and the people are good, but they're good at copying things and delivering a product at scale. They're not good at innovation. Their mindset, I don't know how many Chinese people you know. Chinese people can be extremely intelligent, but innovative wise, they're not as good at that because their mindset and things, it doesn't encourage a lot of like, you know, communism principles. They encourage a lot of like groupthink. It's just a fact. It doesn't encourage innovation. Like, it doesn't encourage the free thought, the free thinker. A lot of ideas like the CCP's back this specific company, so now it has to be a success. And you were building an engine in your backyard and they just come in and smash your shed over and fucking kill you if they want. But you might have been able to have some giant breakthrough and now you're completely destroyed. So that doesn't foster innovation. You're a chosen company and now any competitors will just destroy. It doesn't push forward innovation. It's a fact. Do I think that we live in the end of times? Yes. But I believe the Bible exists in one life cycle, meaning that nothing existed until you were born. And the Bible itself is a framework for something that essentially has to happen. Your Jesus, like, I know it seems crazy, but that's a metaphor, of course, but your Jesus in the story, like, that's how a life is meant to be well lived. You resist the movement and maybe you're sacrificed for it. You see wrong and you resist, and maybe you still have a bad ending, but you do what is to be right. Do you think he didn't know that he was going to die? He knew that he was going to be betrayed. Judas is a very important part of the story. He gets very bad press because ultimately he does a very bad act, but he's very paramount. Some could even argue he's not as important as Jesus in the story, but he's very up there. Like, his job is essentially he did what he was meant to do. He was meant to betray. It's the truth of the matter. Everything it's the same story for you. Like, everything is happening as it's meant to. So you can't take things so personal. That's the truth of the matter. Like, the Bible is a metaphor for your life. I know it seems so crazy because people are like, but I can't like walk on water and do a bunch of shit. It's a metaphor. Like, Like, you really think that 20, 30 years from now, there won't be guillotines for Christians? Like, you really don't think that? What group beheads Christians at scale? What group is now becoming a protected species in the West? What group is the sweeping brush for the essentially the Zionists? Like, you better fucking start waking up, like, for real. Like, that's really obvious. Like, that really is obvious. There's going to be different courts coming in. People underestimate it. Like, they think, like, now you don't realize, like, do you really think how much has changed since COVID? Like, do you ever stop to think how much has changed in five or 6 years? And then you can imagine now that they've also got power and they've also going to have AI, and also people are much poorer. Like, you're poorer than you were 5 years ago, most likely. So you think that they can't push a lot more shit forward in the next 5 years? And then you can only imagine what they can do in 10. And then you can imagine what they can do in 20. Like, this idea of, we're going to have the UFC at the White House. And these are progressions towards Hunger Games. Like, you will fight for the elites. The gladiators are coming back. And it won't just be UFC. It'll be actually, like, more barbaric into the future. Like, those ideas are coming forward. Like, you better fucking see what's coming. People will be toys of the elites. Like, people will be toys of the rich. Like, you will live to see people that are completely just toys. Like, they're not even autonomous. CryptoMine, another product that I'm building, can in the future take your autonomy from you if it wants to. Like, it's a real product. The dream data and the data and things that essentially we're starting to discover is scary. You can make people work, like with essentially CryptoMine, you can make people work in their sleep. Like, you can scrape their brain for their dream data and their data. So your work never ends for you. Like, your dream data is mapped now, which is okay. But then into the future, when we can interpret it as BCIs, as AI tech gets better, we can interpret your dreams. It's very likely that at some point we can also alter your dreams. Dreams will be a privilege. Like, I hope you know that. Like, for real. I mean, I'm on my fingers on the pulse in that specific area. I'm the one pushing that sort of ideas forward. But dreams will be a privilege. When's the last time you had a good dream? Because they already are a privilege, but you don't know that. Ten, 15 years ago, you probably had quite often dreams. Today, you probably don't have many dreams because they're a privilege. I hate to come on and hit you guys with so much facts, but like, someone has to do it. Because again, I have to come in as the one who's the stern teacher, like the one who tells you that, because I have to keep you grounded. So yeah, I don't get anything from jumping in and either, but also I don't hate people because of it. Like, I don't hate any other religion. I don't even hate Zionists. I don't hate them because I understand it's playing out as it's meant to. You'll never see me running around and doing some fucking attacks or bullshit like that. I don't believe in any of that crap. Stephen, man, I'm experiencing a strange moment in life. I lost close love, but everything else seems to be really coming together at the same time. Well, I mean, yeah, some things get pushed out of your life for a reason. It's the truth of the matter. Like, some things are moved aside so that other things can come. And sometimes, again, the wrecking ball comes, it knocks something over, and you want to rebuild it. Maybe it knocks a relationship over. Maybe it knocked a girl over. And you want to come back and be like, no, I need to, like, repair this. I need to fix it. I got to do all of these hoops and all this bullshit. She's the one and all. And then you just keep rebuilding what gets knocked down again and again and again. And then 2 or 3 years later, you're like, because you have no faith. Faith is key. Like, you have to believe that if I follow my path, I essentially follow my pings from the lattice. I follow my conscience. I'm moving in the direction that I feel I'm meant to move. Feeling is all that matters. Like, I know a lot of these fucking stoic turds, and I'm a stoic rock, and my girl is the waves crashing into. That's stupid. That's incel talk. Like, all of that shit doesn't. Again, these are incels, like, ranting about that crap. None of that shit works. Again, like, semen retention, there, like, you're mastering the micro. Do I say jerk off to porn? No. But do I still rub one out if I want? Yes. Do I still fuck if I want? Yes. Do I watch porn? Maybe every 6 months or something. It depends where I am. But I watch videos of my shit where I'm fucking girls. I don't want to be cucked. Like, at least it's still fresh in my memory. I can't be cocked. Like that's a life lesson for me. I don't want to do that sort of shit. Like watch someone else fuck. It's not my style. I have good dreams still all the time, and it's always the same dream. It's how I imagine my past would be if I did the right things. Well, you're living in the past. You got to step into the present, my boy. See, everything looks perfect because you're like, if I went left instead of right, I would have had everything. But you don't know if you went left that maybe you got everything, and then the next day you got hit by a bus. Like you don't know. Again, everything looks perfect in hindsight. Everything looks perfect because you never lived it. Everything looks perfect when you're in Dubai and you've got everything and you've got chicks and you've got this and that because you're not there. Nothing is ever perfect. Perfection exists in moments. That's the truth. Like life is a series of moments. It's never something that like everything is great for, weeks or days or whatever. Life is a series of moments. And the interesting thing is the more that you chase pleasure, the more that it eludes you. And the more that you kind of hide from it, you find pleasure in moments that you didn't think that you would find. Porn is pleasurable because it's an instant thrill. Like it's a quick dopamine thrill. You get this, you get that. Taking drugs is pleasurable. It's an instant dopamine thrill. It's all of this. Drinking is pleasurable, but if you drink to excess, if you do all of those things, they take away from your future. It's not good. You don't think that holding your power, my semen is not my power, bro. Like let's not be fucking weird. You really think that my power is because I haven't shot a fucking load? I'll shoot a load all over this camera, bro, and show you that I'm still powerful. That shit is just again, this is like wild. Like this shit is this, it makes no sense. My power is that I haven't busted a nut. Like on what planet is that the case? I know that in the morning, if you fuck a chick and then you got to work, you already feel like you've won. Like that's part of the game. That's a problem. Like you fuck in the morning, you've won the game. Like I've won the day. I got laid, I fucked, I did what I want. That's a big thing. That's a big thing. So that is true. But before you go to sleep or after work or something, if you fuck a chick or whatever, it doesn't do anything. Like it doesn't like detract from you. It doesn't diminish you, but it also doesn't if you don't fuck. Like don't think that some people think that they're only a man if they get like all these chicks. That's not the case. Some guys like to be with a lot of girls. Some guys don't. Some guys like, I'm dating a chick. Some guy wants to be married. Some guy doesn't give an absolute shit about women. And it doesn't matter. It's just, are you moving in the closer direction than what it is that you want to go? That's the big thing. Like, are you moving in the direction that's for you, right? Rather than, because again, like when I rant and I'm like someone's an incel or whatever, incel by definition is that you're involuntary celibate. Like again, you have to be there. You don't want to be, but some guys don't want to be with chicks, and that's fine. Like they just don't. Like they kind of, or they get to an age, but also libido is different. Like some guys get older and they're like, I don't want to fuck as much. Some guys is 20 and they're like, I don't really care if I fuck with them. And again, like that's them. Like some guys, it's fine. It's their fucking life. Some guys are obsessed with girls. Some guys don't give a shit about them. Some dudes like dudes. It's that, but again, it's their life. As long as they're essentially moving their own direction and they're not delusional about it, where it's affecting others, then that's their life. Like you can't stand there and say that their decisions are dumb, because for them it might be great. I don't have anything about gay people, but gay pastors and things like that. Like that's a real press. Like that's a big push. Because again, if you're gay, like I don't want to start ranting on them and telling them that they're bad, because they're not. But I would believe that they're more likely to have been abused when they were younger. And then I believe if you're more likely to be abused, not all, but you're going to be more likely to abuse people in the future. So if you're in a position of power as a pastor and you're gay, then there's a chance that you're much more likely to abuse, and also boys. Because if I'm like a gay pastor, I can get access to boys much easier, because you think that you're like, he's fine. Like he's just with a couple of boys. Like it's cool. It's fine. People don't think, like I don't think as much. If like I saw a dude with a couple of kids, like boys, I'd be like, it's less likely that something would happen. But actually, it's probably much more likely, because then if also it happens to a boy, some of them won't come forward because they'll be too embarrassed. Kids, like boys being abused, will come forward much lower at a much lower rate than girls will. And girls getting abused is still a very low rate. Do you understand that when girls get raped, like half or less come forward? And when kids get abused, it's probably more like 10% or something that actually come forward that actually eventuates into anything. And then if boys are being abused, it's probably more like a few percent or less. Because imagine that you're a boy, like there's a lot of shame, like coming out and being like some guy like suck my dick or something. They don't understand exactly what's happening. Like it's really detrimental. So when pastors have been in positions of power, there should be massive, like, I believe that when people do that, they should be head on the pike. Like there shouldn't really be any other punishment. If you're in a position of power and you abuse it to abuse kids, that should be the end. Like you should be gone. There shouldn't be any, like real process. Like specifically if it's a kind of a slam dunk case. Because if you'll do that, you'll do anything. Like it's a real thing. And in Italy, I think they do chemical castration and things like that. But understand with chemical castration, it's temporary. And understand that if you have pedophiles and you castrate them, like you cut their fucking dick off, they still will abuse kids. Because it's not all about that. They'll still do it. Like some people sit there and they're like, oh, but they can't fuck them and shit like that. They'll still abuse kids. It's mental. Like it's a very mental process. Their process is broken. It's not just about getting a load off. Like again, you think of because you're like a man, like an adult, you think of fucking a chick, but it's like when people are with kids, they're very different. There's a lot of process and things that are obviously completely wrong. So your understanding of it is going to be different. But yeah, that's the general case with a lot of that shit. So I was here to talk about soul stake, and obviously I got very derailed. But what can I say? I'm a passionate guy. But I don't know if this is going to be the one that gets my channel cancelled, but it very much could be. It could be the one that gets me nuked. So we can talk about soul stake now, or at least parts of it. Who is the woman you running soul stake with? It's not that we're running soul stake with her. She's a community manager, Anna. She's cool. She's been in crypto for a while. She's not running it. She's running the events and she's running the community. I'm the boss. I don't have any partners. I have a lead. I have 5 devs. I don't have a lead though. I don't have a partner. Which means I funded everything, which is interesting. But the team are very good. Like the team have done very well. So when I say I built this and I did that, I didn't really build shit. Like let's be honest. But I'm not going to stand there and say that I built it because I didn't. I didn't build the product. Maybe you can't be canceled like Jesus didn't get. Jesus did get canceled in the end. He got canceled based on morality. But who's the guy? Is it Pilate? What's his name? That essentially sat back and watched Jesus take the walk. It should be with a great sense of shame. This is part of it. But is it Pontius Pilate? Whichever one. And that's the real case of it. But everything happens as it is meant to. Like everything there happened as it was meant to. Do you think Jesus couldn't have stopped it at any time? It's exactly as it's meant to happen. It's the case. As are the wrongs that are happening around you. Do you not see that again? Like you don't see the resemblance. Like the story is very similar. Like you're seeing a lot of wrongs, and if you're to try to move in that direction, you're not meant to. You'll be crushed as he was crushed. So it doesn't mean that. But also, you shouldn't really do it because then you're kind of reacting to the universe. It's not as reactive to you. If we join your group, you're doing frequent meetups. We'd love to meet. Yeah, we're doing a meetup actually on the 1st of February in Dubai. If people want to come to it, they can message me on, and that'll be my members, and there'll be a lot of good people going there. So we're running it in Dubai. It's near address, so it's downtown. But yeah, on the 1st and then the 2nd, we'll be running the event. So it'd be in Dubai if people want to come. Are we going to be able to invest early enough in soul stake to eat well? That's a good question. But yeah, I mean, do you guys want to hear all of the fucking shit for all of the source for the fundraise, all of that crap? So I can tell you guys here. I'm not meant to because it's still too early. We're only doing the Dutch auction contract. But yeah, I guess like my OG supporters, of course, you guys can get in early. You just can get in early enough. You just can message me, message online. I have to make sure that my groups are settled first. Like I make sure the guys in the group are, got their allocation that they want to get. And then, yeah, so I'll make sure the guys in the group get their allocation, and then we'll do it later. I'll tell you guys a funny story. You guys want to hear a funny story of how I got scammed this week? Me, the fucking goat. What did I do to deserve to get scammed? Me, fucking scammed. Yeah, so we've been signing influencers and streamers. We've been signing creators and fucking streamers. What? Oh. We've been signing streamers and creators. And then, so essentially signing them. And then I thought, we'll reach out to a few mainstream creators and big ones, like, I don't know, top 5 in the world streamers, right? Because we're signing them. We have almost 30 streamers signed, but maybe 32 now. We've got about a dozen crypto KOLs signed. So they'll stream with us 3 times a week. And then that'll be for 1 year. They're not the biggest. They're not like, the biggest. They're not fucking like, who's that guy? Kobe or something. He's massive. It's not him. But they're still, mid range, and we've signed 12 of them, so it's still good reach. But essentially, then we signed I'll tell you guys. Yeah, it's possibly true. But then we have mainstream streamers as well. So we're going to sign one of the top 5 in the world, and we've already signed a top 10. We signed top 10, maybe a top 5, but that might be a bit ambitious. But we'll just sign another top 5 guy. And then reached out, we spoke, and then there was another guy, and I went to send the payment over. So I'm sending payment over, for a contract. And it was a contract for 2 people, actually. And then I paid, and then essentially what had happened was he gave me a fake email, like this guy. It wasn't anything to do with the streamer. So he kind of did a man-in-the-middle scam, and then he essentially fucked me over on that sort of regard. So he kept the funds and then, kind of held my dick for a little while, and then vanished for 5 days. And then it wasn't his fault. And I was doing this and I was doing that and all this other crap. But a friend of him's managing that in one of the biggest casinos. And yeah, that's the truth. Yeah, it's probably quite true, right? Especially for influencers, because understanding their reach is difficult. But this is where SoulStake is different. Like you guys will see when I launch SoulStake. Crypto KOLs and crypto is dead. Like in that sector, it's extremely burnout. Like people have their trust is cooked. People have, a lot of their trust, and they're just bored. Like there's enough of those casinos, and there's enough of this, and there's enough of that. We're onboarding streamers from the mainstream, Twitch, Kick. Essentially, one of the podcasts we've onboarded is a top 5 in the US. So we've brought blood that didn't exist, and we'll bring it into crypto. So essentially, like I had to carry Solana on my back, like I really did, with very little help from really anyone. That's the thing. Like we've had to carry it on my back, right? So that's a big thing. I mean, like, yeah, it's the thing with crypto though as well is there's a lot of virtue signaling, like in crypto that there is. There's a lot of like insider club, and you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, even if your project is shit, give me a favor and give me this and give me that. And it's a lot of like, we'll launch 100, like you see a lot of these ICOs and a lot of projects launching, they're like, just launching one after another. There's not much there. Like crypto, they're barely even doxed. Like there's no one to cry to. I launched a doxed, licensed streaming platform, live peer. We've got demos with, I don't know, we've got like 20 or 30 demo flows using the platform, using the tipping, using it on Solana, using the chat, using the moderation, using the community, using the uploads for videos, using for gated PPV, using it to be able, we can stream fucking anything. It's on live peer. They run Fish Tank. There's they can have 1 million viewers on it at once. There's no censorship. If a girl wants to have her titties out, if you're KYC, you will see it. Because I don't believe in censorship. Like I don't. I just don't. Like as a platform, I don't. Will I be catering to a porn platform? No. But do I also believe in censorship? No. Because once you censor certain behavior, like where does it end? If you're KYC'd and you want to see titties, then you can see titties. If you're a fucking liberal and you want to see people talking about liberal causes, then you can see that. I don't want to, be like the front pages for Trump supporters and the back pages for liberals and, this and this, because then it's just like, who am I? Then it's just another corrupted platform. Like, it's just another fucking anything. Like, where does it end? Then I'll just be leveraged to move the platform in one specific direction. And then you'll be like, oh, wow, this platform's just like another one of those shill platforms where it's just, completely corrupted. The beauty of SolStake also, we're not relying on ad revenue. Like, the thing with that, with other platforms, and I don't want to name them, but let's say Rumble or YouTube, they're completely reliant on ad revenue. So if you're an advertisement and you're Pepsi, then if I'm a big streamer and I run around and say Pepsi is dog shit, then you're going to fucking pull my funding. Like, you're not going to pay, as Rumble has found many times where they just don't pay them their allocated sponsorships for their fucking advertisers. They just hold the funding. They won't pay them unless you demonetize streamers, unless you cancel streamers, unless you do this. And now they've fixed the issue by going to a Rumble wallet. But again, it's the same thing. You have to be eligible for their creator program. And if you're not eligible for their creator program, you don't get a Rumble wallet. Don't you realize, if I talk about this, I'm not eligible for a creator wallet? So why should I fucking be on that platform? It's not freedom. Like, it's not a free speech platform. If I can't jump on here and be like, Israel is a global problem, then there's no freedom. It's the truth of the matter. And you can't say that and stay monetized. That's why you know I'm demonetized. It's the case of the world. It's the truth. Yeah, censorship reminds me of that one alternative media platform. Yeah, it's built off live peer though, so the idea that it'll get hacked is difficult. I do believe later on we'll either get paid or we'll get pushed. It'll be one of two things. Likely we get attacked on the virtue signaling. They'll be like, oh, it's an adult platform. It also has iGaming. So there's two narratives, but we also have license. It's KYC. It's on the back end. If you choose to do it, it's your life. You can do whatever the fuck you want on the platform essentially, but we're not pushing you in one direction. And it's all licensed, it's all legal. Everything exists on the protocol. Our idea is that SolStake is a protocol, so everything is split. It runs an idea of all revenue goes 40% to is burnt. So all revenue that the platform will ever make from tipping, because we share tipping fees, the iGaming, even the adult, we'll run an ads engine, but it'll only be internal ads. So if you want to run an ad, so essentially it'll be AI run because we have AI devs at the moment. So essentially, if you decide you're a big creator and you want to run your ads on another creator who's smaller, or maybe they're big also, but you want to run an ad on theirs, but it's on the same service. So imagine it's SolStake, but you can pay. So I'm small, but maybe I want to be on a big stream as in the corner. Then I can pay them. That's the idea. That's essentially the idea. So it's much simpler. It's not like, it's not as corrupted. Because if I'm a small streamer and there's a big guy on there, for example, Aiden Ross or something, although I'm not saying that he's on there because he's not. But if that was the case, then I would pay to be on his platform, like a pay to be in the corner. Like, people would pay big money for that. But the ads are internal because it's to be determined that way. And then others, if they want to also, maybe they want to have internal ads that could be adult. But again, you have to be KYC to get access to that. But again, that's where the revenue actually can get much higher. But that's the flywheel. Again, 40% is burnt of all revenue that we take. 35 goes to the stakers, so the people that actually have essentially SDV stake, they get 35, and then 30% goes to the treasury. So our idea is that when we were doing the mechanics, 5 to 10% of the actual supply is burnt every year. So it looks like a high FDV, but it'll never release that. In circulation in the first year is like 10 or 12% of the tokens. It's built to, I think all supply hits at about 6 to 8 years. Like, it's very long term. Because I didn't want to build a shit coin. Like, I have no real desire to build one. At launch, it's going to be, in the first year, it'll be about 12 million circulating market cap, but it's a fully diluted will be 100 million. But essentially what will happen is, I believe it's the first 14 months. Anyone who invests gets their tokens in the first 14 months, and they get their tokens when market cap is about 16 million. So they get their tokens at quite low, right? But then, so it's about maybe 15 million after 14 months. And our tokens, so essentially being in the team, we're locked for 4 years. Like we get a 4-year distribution. We don't have a lot of the supply. A lot of the supply is because how it works is the creator incentive program is one, and that's almost 20% of the tokens. Almost 20% of the tokens goes to incentivizing creators to stay on the platform because it seems nice to like, how do you keep them on? Like you want to get, I don't know, like the biggest streamers on Twitch. We've got one of them. How do you get them? Like I'll tell you guys a secret. It's $1 million a year. Cash, not tokens. Like I can tell you guys already, that's the deal. Like that's what it costs. It doesn't seem like it would cost that much, but it costs that much. To get streamers of that tier, it's $1 million a year. Some of them it's millions a year. Because there's a lot of competing deals. There's a lot of competing deals as well. That's the general idea. And then even to get like, you get a dozen KOLs or something like that, I don't want to blow up the spot for how much they're paid, but it still costs money. Like nothing is free. But the idea of SolStake essentially is I haven't given away any tokens. So I've been shouldering the whole raise solo, like not raise, but funding solo. I haven't given away a single token, which again seems crazy, but if you trust me in the long run, it'll be fucking insane. Like I believe SolStake, I think I run it to 5 to 10 billion, and people look in and they're like, how is it possible? It's what we brought to SolStake has never been done before. We got licensed iGaming, so it's a licensed casino. It has adult. Imagine you're on Chatterbait, you pay 50%, they custody your money, they give you tips if they decide to, they hold it for 2 weeks. You have to do a minimum. You might have a pimp or a boss or someone who just takes your passport and throws you on camera. We cut out all of that. We cut out all the middleman. You're immediately tipped. It's gone to you. You can just turn a webcam on and do whatever the fuck you want and get paid. No one can tell you that you turned off. Like no one can take your channel off you. I can take your channel, but I can only take your channel if you're breaking the law. I don't care what you do. Like I don't care if you stand here and you're like, I hate this or I hate that. It's your decision. But I do care if you stand there and you're like, I'm going to kill this person or I'm going to do this or I don't. Then it gets a little bit too crazy. Or you're hurting yourself or you're hurting someone else or you're doing dope on stream. It's a little bit dumb. Like because again, you're just going to destroy yourself. Like you're going to get yourself into trouble. You're not going to get the platform into trouble because we will run a live pair and it's decentralized. And the thing with the platform is all publicity is good publicity. So it doesn't hurt me. Like if someone blows their head off on stream, it doesn't hurt the stream. I'm not happy and I don't want you to do it. But nothing would hurt the platform. It's part of the charm. So understand with Pump Fund, people look in. A token deployer is nothing on SolStake. Like we've built a licensed iGaming casino with everything. Games we're all building from scratch. We've built adult, we've built chatting, we've built essentially it's an OF because also you can upload videos behind a payment wall. No one can turn you off. There's no chargebacks. There's no banking. There's no fucking sitting there and we have to do all of these like KYCs and like all that. It's all basic KYC. Like we're not custodying any funds. We're not. There's no middleman. It's just the protocol level. That's the real thing. And then essentially Rumble can't compete because they're trying to move into the direction that we already have with Rumble Wallet. But it's still Rumble Wallet isn't Rumble Wallet because again, you have to be qualified for the creator program to use it. And if you can't, you can only qualify for the creator program if they say you do. What if they don't like the message you're pushing in? What if elections come and then they get like $100 million to kind of ban all of the other side? I don't like that. Like I don't like that. If you're a liberal, that you're muted, and I don't like if you're a right-wing guy that you're muted. I don't think either should be muted. I don't believe in any censorship. The only censorship level I believe is if it's like, dangerous for national security or dangerous for people or something. If people are jumping on talking about killing people or something, it's pretty extreme. Like it's too far. Because if you're that person that they're talking about killing, then it affects you, especially in the US because a lot of people have guns. So you're sitting there and you're like, now I'm affected. But that's the general idea. Like that's the idea of SolStake. Like SolStake is a fucking brilliant platform. Like it really, the protocol level is, it's unseen. Like it's so good. Like it really is amazing. It's an amazing product. It's essentially, imagine that you built Stake and Kick. You built Stake and then you realized you needed Kick because you can't market Stake because they just ban you on every platform. But then you build Kick so that you can market Stake, but you wish that you built them all at once. And then if you build adult as well. But it's not only about that. It's also essentially you can do anything on there. It's just a freedom platform. Like it puts the creator back in control. But again, you're in control, but the viewer is also in control because you just focus on what it is that you want. There's no like, I don't care if someone has millions of dollars and they're paying me to promote, and it's a fair platform. If you have, maybe you are streaming with 50 people, you shouldn't be punished. Like, who's to determine whose message is more important just because one person has 100,000 people live and one has 10? Like, to maybe that 10, their message is still important. That's the idea. Have you been to Romania? Huge taxes came also here. What's your take? It doesn't sound very good for Romania. I like Romania, but I believe, and I don't want to offend people, but I don't really care if I do. I think that country is cucked now. I'm not saying that it's bad or that Romanians are bad or all of this, because they're not. But the country is cucked by the euro. Romania, I would believe, as Poland has taken a lot of money from the euro. Understand that with Poland as well, I like the Polish people, and they're very good people, and they're very patriotic. But Poland is being ushered into. Poland is being done to do a mirror of World War II. See, Poland arguably started World War II. They started certainly the escalation because they wouldn't theoretically surrender, and I believe that they wouldn't surrender is because again, it's part of this Euro agenda. But they'll, if anyone attacks, Russia or something like that, it'll likely be happening out of Poland. Poland will provide a lot of troops for the next, kind of war that they have. There's a reason that Poland is the biggest beneficiary of the euro by like 5x or something. How much have they taken in the last like 5 years? It's like 15 billion or something. Do you think that like everyone's like, they're so based, like they're really getting their way and like they're telling the euro to get fucked, but then in the back end, they're just taking truckloads of cash from the euro? It's all the game. Like, it's all farce. They know trust in the euro is zero, so they need to present someone to you that you can trust. It's a fucking game. Like, a lot of Polish people will die because of this idea. And I don't wish it for them because they're good people, but it's like, that's obvious. You're paid a specifically large amount of money because your Christians need to do a Ukraine. Like that, that's what they want. When they see, like, understand the control structure, when they see Russia and Ukraine fighting and millions of Christians killing each other, that's the wet dream. Like white Christians murdering each other. That's like, there are people who sit there and jerk off to people getting hit by drone strikes. That's a dream. Like, that's amazing. It's the truth of the matter. What's my take on moving to Switzerland? I think Switzerland is a very nice place. It's very safe. It's very expensive. But I'm not an expert on Switzerland at all. But it's a nice spot, and it's good. Zurich's good. Geneva, I've been. It's beautiful. Like, the air is really clean. It's a good spot. It's safe. But I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I wouldn't live there, in my view. Any more questions? From 1st May 2004 to the end of 2023, Poland received a gross amount of 245 billion. That's a lot of cash for a small place. The beauty of Poland is, and I'll say it, Polish people are very good people first, but Polish people are getting fucked on the ground. Like, is it really fair that you're a Polish guy, you work hard, you live in Warsaw, and you're getting pushed higher and higher in rent? I can live in Zlota. I can pay whatever the fuck it is. But because I work online, I do things. But locals get squeezed, and I don't believe that that's fair. I think the locals are, it's unfair. Like, if you're a local and a lot of your buildings are full of people that are not Polish, that's a big problem. Like, that's not good. You're becoming like serf in your own country. That's not good. And I don't agree with it. Like, if I go to a certain country, like Dubai is amazing for that. UAE does it very well. You can't, like, they really protect the Emiratis quite well, and they help them. They share their oil revenue. They share a lot of things with their local people here. You don't fuck with the Emiratis in Dubai. Like, you'll have a really bad time if you do. How much do you need to be making nowadays to be free? It depends where you are, right? But freedom is a mindset. Like, there's a lot of people who are rich and they're still not free, right? In automotive industry, a good decision for learning a high-income skill, things like diagnostic programming. I don't know. It depends how good you are already. Would I start to learn that from zero? Probably not. But if I was already, moving in that sort of a direction, then it's. But would I start it from scratch and move into that field? Probably not. Vitamin water. Seems like slop. Hey, Stephen, do you think that all of us are born to walk a certain predestined path and contains the karmic debt of our previous life? Yes. How would you work through if you have excessive anger, someone crosses a boundary of yours, but you feel higher level than normal? You need to be less harsh on others and more harsh on yourself. That's what I would say if I had that sort of a thing. Realize that you take things too personal, and I do as well. So when I talk to people like that, I realize that I'm also talking to you, talking to myself, that you take it too personal. You got to realize also people are living for the first time. And some people don't mean to they didn't mean to offend you as much as they did. So when you overreact, you're creating a negative imprint for them as well. Because how are they going to learn if you just scream at them or punch them? I mean, yeah, in the caves, that's a good idea, but it's not a good idea. Like later on, they'll just be either shy or they never really learn how to have a proper argument even. Better to just correct them without exploding. How do you see your relationship with women until your time comes? Ever going to be in a long-term relationship, or how do you think you're going to go about that? Just sort of, it's an interesting question. I don't want to talk to turn people off because this is my own view, but relationships are getting harder and harder. I think like relationships in general are getting harder and harder in life. And I'll tell you a secret, the longer that you're single, or the longer that you're not in a relationship, the longer that you want to stay single. Like being in your own company is like sliding into a warm bath. At first you're kind of like, ugh. But then once you slide into it and once you sink into it, it's much easier to stay there. It's very hard to get out of a warm bath because as soon as you get out, it's cold. That's the secret of life. Like that's what truly it's like. The longer that you stay in one position, the more likely that you are going to stay in that position for life. Like that can become your new normal. Relationships are work, but relationships are like you have to practice to be in one. Like it takes a considerable amount of practice. It takes a considerable amount of patience. Like there's no woman as such. There's no man who's perfect. Like there's no, you just meet and everything's so easy because you don't know each other. Like there's a honeymoon phase where you don't really know each other and you're both on eggshells. But as people slip into their true character, you see things in this friction. Relationships are a very long conversation. And if you can't have a long conversation with the girl, you're never going to work. Like this idea of these red pill twerps running around and being like, I just want a submissive. And she like kisses my ass and like kisses my feet and she doesn't argue and she just like shuts up. And that's all an act. Like that's a fucking complete farce. Like women, again, they're playing a character. She has a mask on. Some guys go around the turd world and then they're talking about being playboys, but the girl that you're dating is just hungry. Like you're a playboy because your chick hasn't eaten meat in 2 weeks. If you gave her your wallet, she would dump you immediately. Like you're just leveraging cash to hold over a chick. She's only agreeing because she has to. Like, again, there's no love there. Relationships are not based on, I put you in a bad position and then you can't leave me. Like, that's how they do shit in the caves. If you dump me, I'll kill you. You have to think this or you're going to die. That shit's dumb. Like, that's all stupid stuff. The older that I come to get, the more I realize a lot of those people are deeply, deeply, deeply insecure. Like a lot of this idea of women exist to be suppressed and she lives in the kitchen and like if she goes outside, I'll kill her. That's all like, that's really insecure. Like that's dumb. She can't study. She can't do this and that and this. And then if you have a daughter, you're like, I don't want my daughter to be like that. If I had a daughter, I don't want my daughter to be with me. And I'm not even the worst. I don't want my daughter to be with any twerp that I know. I don't want my daughter to be with any red pill guy. What planet is that a good deal for her? I don't want my girl or daughter to be running around with anyone who's like traveling the world. Why would I want that? I want her to be with a stable, reliable, nice guy who has, he has boundaries and whatever it is that he has. But like, again, if I want that and that's what I want, then why do I ever think that, like, again, I'm doing something to another man's daughter that if it was to do to my daughter, I wouldn't be happy. That's the idea. I want for others what I myself wouldn't be happy with. I'm not the change that I want to see in the world. I'm poisoning the well as it is. I'm creating the very thing that I'm not happy about. If I pump and dump a girl, then I damage a woman that you could have had. It's the truth of the matter. Like again, this idea of I want to be with girls who are virgins or don't have a lot of experience or all of these things. If I lie to a virgin and fuck her and then kick her out, maybe maybe I might have destroyed her life with the relationships. Like I might have really damaged her. Her first experience is negative. She waited, and now she's like pissed off. She doesn't trust dudes. So then when she meets you, she's like weird, and then you're like, oh, she must just be a stupid bitch. But her first experience with negative, she was good until it's like this glass of water. It's just, it's just water. You look at this, it's like, water, it's quite pure. But then if I pour this cola in there, it gets a little bit dirty. Women are like that. And then if I'm, essentially, it doesn't disappear. Like women are not made to be damaged. Like when you traumatize them or something like that, for women, it's hard for them to come back from that. Like women aren't made to be, of course, there's an interesting phenomenon where women get wet for that sort of ideas. Like women do get wet over the idea of, toxicity and drama and bullshit and, toxic rubber band, as it's called, and back and forth, push and pull. It does turn them on often, not all of them, but it breaks them. Because understand with dopamine is a rubber band. Of course, I'm the only one who's ever said this because I've had more dopamine than anyone I believe is maybe not on earth, but I'd be up there. But dopamine itself is a rubber band, and the more that it's stretched, the more that you will seek dopamine. Like it won't be enough. If you're used to having threesomes with two girls and you have two girlfriends and they both suck your dick, once you go to one, it's quite boring. If you're used to taking dope every single day, the days that you don't take it, and even if you go out and party, if you've ever crossed the line, and I've never crossed the line into opiates, but I've heard the stories. If you've ever crossed the line into that, nothing will ever be as good. Like if someone's shot up heroin, the idea that nothing will ever be as good as that, nothing that they ever do will ever compare to that. They have to live with it. There's certain roads that you are not meant to go down. If you've been to Epstein Island or something and you've been used to that, nothing will ever feel like that again. That's a rubber band that you don't want to go down. It's the truth of the matter. There are certain things that you're not meant to do and not meant to see, and if you do, they'll haunt you forever. That's how these perverts and things. That's the phenomenon of you're a detective or you're studying a case, and the idea is that the longer that you gaze into an abyss also gazes into you. Some of those people who they tracked a pedophile or they track shit like that, suddenly they're like, I have these urges. Like I don't know why, because you're not meant to watch that. Like if you're watching, I don't know, like child content or something like that, and you were to just watch it again and again and again and again and again, eventually your brain would start to like that. So those sort of windows and those sort of things, you're not meant to cross. Like I knew that with opiates when I was very young. I know that like injecting drugs, I've never done that. And I also knew that if I was to ever do that, it would be the end. I knew heroin, opiates, endone, Oxycontin, I don't know, Targin, all of that crap. If I was to ever go down there, that would be over. Xanax, even the fucking any of the amphetamines. If I was to ever go that way, it would be the end. I'd be dead within 5 or 10 years. I knew that, and that's why I never did it. There's certain things with women or girls and things like that that I knew that if I crossed certain lines, I would never be able to come back from, so I never did it. I've never had, like, if a girl's like 14 or, I don't know, 15 or something and trying to fuck me, I don't do it. Even if I'm in a country where 15 has been legal, I don't do it. Because I know that if I go down certain roads, I can never come back from. Because what happens if you like? I'm saying in these spots that it's legal. Then what? Like, where do you go from that sort of point? Like, you're sitting on the fucking edge, and then you can easily tip over and really lose yourself. Temper is like that. Like, if you have a bad temper and you don't get it under control, you can eventually kill someone. And the thing with the temper is not all people deserve you to explode on them. That's something that I have to learn. I have a really bad temper. Fucking, if you know me, I have sometimes some of the worst temper. I have a very bad temper that if I don't like someone, I can just hit them. But I can just do it. It doesn't mean anything to me. But it's not fair. And it's quite childish. It's quite childish to bully people just because you can. Also, it's very selfish to hold people to a standard that they never agreed to. That's what I've learned. Like getting older, I realize that's very true. You hold someone to a standard that only you ever agreed to have them by. Like, on what planet are they abiding by the rules that you've set in your head? You've never even explained them to them. So it's very egotistical and almost quite selfish to expect that they see the world as you do, because they don't. And then you get disappointed when they don't. Like having boundaries or laws and things like that, like rules, can it's a good thing. But if you don't explain them to people, or you're around people that are clearly very different to you, and you try to hold them to those standards, you're going to be disappointed every single time. But you're being very selfish. Like, you're not reading the room. You're in the wrong room. Like, you're around people who you know are going to annoy you, and then you're angry that they annoy you. But you knew they're already going to. But sometimes you got to realize that you're going to set yourself into positions to explode. Like, that's the truth of the matter. Sometimes I do that. I put myself in positions where I know that eventually I'll explode. That's the truth of the matter, because sometimes it feels good. It's the truth of it, and it's a selfish intent to think everyone has to be like you. Like, you're the picture of perfection and everyone needs to abide by some sort of rules that you have in your head, and it's not true. There are certain things that, you can pull away from, and certain behaviors that you don't want to encourage, but you don't have to, you're not the fucking, judge, jury, and executioner. Where would you move in a few years if you were from Poland? Let's say you can make good money remotely, don't feel good in here, too much struggle running companies, law. Yeah, Poland is a good spot in that the Polish are very good, but I could get me in trouble. But the tax laws in Poland are very difficult. Like, the tax laws in Poland are, in my view, like extremely confusing. Like, even if you want to pay them, even if you want to do everything right, it's easy to like accidentally fuck something up, and then they'll like smash you. And they don't smash you like, send you a letter. They just explode. Like, they can just like fucking pull up and be like, what are you doing with all of this shit? Yeah, I think Georgia could be a good spot. I think it's possible. Tbilisi could be good. I have some friends in Georgia. I think it could be quite good. But the euro itself is nice. The hardest thing with the euro, like even Eastern Europe, it's the best spot. That's the beauty of it. You got to understand that you had nice spots and then they kind of got destroyed. Iran's, I don't know if you've known Iran, people from Iran, they're completely slept on. Iranians are completely slept on, like they're completely underestimated, like the Persian people. The girls are hot. The people, like the guys even are cool, like they're good. That you only see like the extreme shit, like the extremist people. There's a lot of normal people in Iran. It's not all like public executions and a bunch of other shit and like dictatorships or like, people who are like really over the top. It's not all like that. Are you still coming with this woman even though you are aware it's not how you should treat them? Still doing this, like you said, you are not looking for a relationship. Doesn't that mean that anyone you sleep with is? Not necessarily. That's a very good question. But I don't lie. Like I don't lie. Like I never. So imagine that women, some of them, not all of them. I don't fuck girls if they don't have a lot of experience. Like, I mean, of course I've done it before and I'll still do it, but I don't seek to. Like, I don't seek it out. And I also like the girls. It's kind of like it gets to a point, and I don't want to say it in such terms, but the hoes end up with the hoes. You got to know that. And that's the way it should be. Like, it really is the way that it should be. I know it takes a really mature mind to say it, and others probably don't say that. But you get to a certain point where girls who are kind of more of the good girls and more pure or whatever, they don't really want to be involved with you. That's why you see like a lot of the influencers who are like the masculinity guys, they run and they hate women and they yell. They found their equal. You hate women, so you get a woman that hates men, but she sticks with you because you have money. But you see all of the shit types of women, so then eventually it just like kind of reinforces what it is that you are. But again, it's like the same thing. Like a pot finds its own lid. A man will find his own level. If you're surrounded by hoes, you best bet that you're a hoe. But also, like, once you reach a certain point, what girl who's trad, who has a dad, is going to sit there and be like, this guy with the tattoos who's run online and said a bunch of like, dramatic stuff and a bunch of stuff. It's very unlikely. And I haven't even said a bunch of stuff that's the worst. It's very unlikely. Like, you've kind of, you've moved down such a refinement funnel that you're like a complete hoe magnet. Like if I went to a strip club, I don't get left alone because I'm a complete hoe mag. But I also don't mind that. Like again, I'm under no delusions for who I am. But it's kind of nice in its own way because the girl need be under no delusion for who she is, and also that's like that feels good. That's addictive. If you're a hoe or you're a girl who's like kind of like that, and you're around a guy and you don't have to pretend to be a good girl, it's very like it feels good for them. It's chill. A lot of the other girls are trying to they are still a hoes, but they try to present a mask that's tiring. I don't want you to know about my past. I can't talk in any deep connection. I can't talk about anything. I have to like kind of put an image up that I know is going to fall over. And then I want to sit there and act like I'm a good boy and I'm a good guy. And I'm looking for the perfect trad wife. And like, why lie? Like, what's the point? I mean, if I was looking for a wife, I'm 40 years old. I would have found one. I would have found one dozens of times over by now. But also, you go because there's a lot of like freedom in just accepting who you are. Doesn't mean that you'll always be that way, but there's a very high level of accepting, of like freedom of accepting who you are. Do you know how many guys I know run around these like raves and shit that I know are gay? Like they're at least bisexual and doing a bunch of weird shit, but they don't want anyone to know, or they don't tell anyone, or they hide it, and all of this, and then they just destroy their own life because again, you're living a double life. What a crazy world to be so worried about what others think of you that, again, it'll be forgotten in a day. And then you can't actually be who you are. Like, what suffering is that? But that's self-induced. Like, you don't even have the courage to be as who you're meant to fucking be, like who you are. No one cares. Like, people care for a day. Like, if someone did something, I don't know, like jumped off the balcony here, people would remember me for a week and it'd be forgotten. That's good, though. That's the way that it's meant to be. Like everything moves quickly. Yeah, it's those guys have to be careful. It's true. They always do something strange. Specifically if you get drunk. But yeah, any more questions, lads? I'm going to wrap it up. And anyone wants to invest in Soul Stake or something like that, you probably want to, because obviously I'm putting it through my group first, so they get first priority. But then maybe message me on Instagram. But after... I'll tell you guys a secret for Soul Stake, and I'll probably get in trouble for saying it. But we're doing demos, so platform demos with all of our creators in the next 10 days maybe. And probably the 1st of Feb or early Feb when we drop those, it's game over. Because we already have tipping that's on Solana, like everything already interactive. We have the streaming platform. We have everything already built. But we're still building the iGaming. Of course, I'll be completely transparent with you. We're still building the games. But that will be built still for March. But once we drop the demo flows and I drop the full deck of creators that we have, it's game over. We have No Jumper 1 that we can talk about. That's one of them. But it's not the biggest. But that's one of them. That's a big podcast. I mean, they're big. They're big guys. But once I drop that, it's like the game is finished. Like I'm going to drop something that's never been seen before. And those who trust me will do well, and we'll see how it goes. But of course, like the demo flows and everything will always be transparent. See, I'm not launching an idea. Like I've spent, I don't know, over $2 million launching Soul Stake to where it is today. The licenses and stuff are very expensive, but also the creators are expensive. Devs are expensive because I have 5 Western ones. All of them, the lowest is 15 years experience. One of them builds a $330 million company. So they're all pros. Like they're all amazing. And they're very good. I mean, they built it. When I stand there and say I built it, I didn't build it. Like I didn't build any of it. I just built it here. And then I built it here. It's the truth of the matter. And yeah, other than that, I love you all. And I hope that you guys are, staying strong and doing your shit and not already fucked up New Year's. Like these ideas of like, does a New Year's matter? It matters if it fucking matters to you. Sit there and write down what it is that you want. What are you going to do this year? Is it going to be another year of the same? I saw the life will exist in 9-year cycles. It's quite funny because what was it? I think 33. So the number 33 is quite an interesting number. 33 is the year that I became a millionaire. I was 33. I was thinking about it recently. This is the year I got out of jail. I think it was on my 33rd. It's the year that I became a millionaire. How low of a market cap are we going to get to invest in compared to when it launches? So essentially but FTV is different. Like everyone's going. I mean, you guys can invest that. Will have to be determined. Maybe a 10% discount to the Dutch, but the Dutch auction floor is 100 million, but that's fully diluted. Fully diluted will never happen. Like it can't happen because of the burn mechanism. And also, so at launch, the market cap will be like, I don't know, a few million. Like essentially the lockup period is like 14 months. So that's the period, right? So essentially, I mean, you get in, but all you guys will get, so in the auction or essentially the pre-sale, which is now, you guys will get all of your tokens in the first 14 months and the market cap will be like, I don't know, 15 million or something. So it's low. To get to the full 100 million would be eight years. And then essentially we're burning 5 to 10% of the tokens every year. So imagine Hex, because we have the similar lockup mechanics, but Hex has no point. Like Hex, you would buy Hex or stake Hex to get more Hex. There's no point. There's no burning. There's no revenue engine. The only burning is sacrifices and shit because, you unlock early and you get punished. Our idea is that essentially the revenue burns tokens. So we can just invest right when it launches in the market on Radium. That's a good question. Yeah, you can. Yeah, I mean, if you want to buy at market, of course you can. That's a good thing. That's smart. Could be smart. It just depends. I mean, if the Dutch auction blows out, because my idea is that I want to blow the Dutch auction out a lot because I want to drop the creators time and time again, and then essentially once we go for funding, I'm going to drop the biggest creators that we have right on time so that hopefully it goes crazy. And I've been neglecting the gym a bit, but I think it's good for me. I feel like I'm like 86 kilos or something like that. I'm definitely more bony than usual, but I feel good. I don't feel as bloated, right? The funny thing with Coke, because I was taking a lot of Coke like 6 to 12 months ago, it bloats you. Like it's quite ironic, which is interesting. But Dubai is good for that. Like Dubai is really good for keeping on the straight and narrow. All right, lads, love you all, and I hope you guys have a good night. And yeah, some beautiful Dubai. Look. Show you. Sunny Dubai. It's nice. Slept on. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Love you all. See you later.